They didn't lose their value the day they lost their job. Especially when people are coming from outside Norway. Many people have very low self-esteem and they have been applying for so many times and they haven't heard anything back. And you can imagine the joy we both share when they then come back to work. They need to remember that when someone is rejecting their CV, they're rejecting a piece of paper. They're not rejecting the person. Our biggest problem is that we think we shouldn't have problems. So I think it's very important that everyone sees problem as gifts.
For the future generation, we are going to do a big deal of favor.
I have traveled to more than 20 countries across 4 continents in the world.
Hello everybody, welcome to SWOW series, the strongest women of the world, a global talk show where we celebrate strength and achievement of women from all over the world. Women are achieving extraordinary feats in everything that they choose to pursue. It is time to bring such inspirational stories out in the world so that many more women and girls will choose to find their strength and achieve whatever they wish. Simply put, this show brings the best women in the world to inspire the rest of the women in the world. Bear in mind, the entire show is non-scripted, simply heart to heart. And today's guest is a unique leader from Norway with more than 20 years of experience in working with people and recruitment. She is a DNV-GL certified recruiter and also a speaker who held 2 of the biggest coaching events in Stavanger, Norway. She also coaches people especially who lost jobs in this pandemic. And she has an extraordinary success rate of more than 80% to place them back to work. She's a mother of 3, an amazing juggler of all aspects of life. Help me to welcome Anne-Karen Neilson from Norway. Hi Anne, how are you doing?
Hi, I'm doing fine. It's busy times now, even though we have the pandemic, but still I'm doing fine. So it has been a very busy day today. So happy to connect with you now to calm down and just talk.
First of all, I want to say a big thanks to you for finding out time in your busy schedule, Anne. And it has been an honor to have you here. And let me ask this, right? You have been working with people over 20 years. And especially, you have been helping people in the area of recruitment. Now, this pandemic has put many of the people in a zone where, they're in the middle of the fear. So how do you deal with such people who are low in the confidence and place them back into the, companies? What kind of thought process you build in them?
I think it's very important just to connect with them and believe in them and talk to them. And never before has the phone been so important. So not emailing, but I'm always talking to them, always calling and updating by phone. So I think that's very important so that they understand that they didn't lose their value the day they lost their job. So many people I've been talking to for many months, maybe up to a year or more. So many people have been unemployed for quite a while. And you can imagine the joy we both share when they then come back to work. So you get like you're getting connected and you're being like just friends in the end, because you talk to them regularly, almost every week and many times a day sometimes. So if there are many positions that are relevant for, so yeah, we have been talking a lot.
I understand. So connecting to the people and making them to understand they just, lost the job, not really the value. This is a brilliant perspective here. And I think, somebody gets into the zone, they think it's all problems, right? They consider that they are in the middle of the deep problem. And but all the problems are always kind of an opportunity to raise to next level, right? What is your, thinking process in that? Problem is where people think, oh my God, I'm in the middle of the pandemic now, I'm really screwed. And, this is something which is very common that you see, with the people who approach you.
Yeah, and especially when people are coming from outside Norway. many people have very low self-esteem, and they have been applying for so many times and they haven't heard anything back. So when I see that people are calling or sending me emails from outside Norway, for instance, I always pick up the phone and tell them why they haven't been successful. And sometimes you find a way in, even though, because maybe they have a special skill or something like that. So it's only to connect with them and explain to them, so they don't think that it's them, but it's the situation, or it's the field they are in. Maybe we have so many in Norway, and maybe it's only the customer that's reluctant due to the pandemic or the paperwork or from their country or something like that. So I think communication is key. It's extremely important to talk.
Yeah,
to
I can't agree more. Communication is really the key. And I mean, now I understood that, you coach a lot of people, right? So, and then one of the biggest enemy for the humankind is procrastination. People have the potential, but they end up, keep postponing things, what they're supposed to do. And I mean, how do you kind of coach people, especially in that area of procrastination?
It's very typical that when we procrastinate, we do that because of a reason. Maybe it's because we don't think we can manage. It's too big of a deal, or fair. It can be fair. So what I have experienced and what I teach is when you have a challenge, when you just jump into that challenge, you will see that the prize is even bigger than the problem initially was. So every time there is like a jewel, like a diamond inside that problem, every single time. So maybe you don't see it at first, but it is there always. So my advice is, if you procrastinate, the fear will be bigger and bigger and bigger, and in the end you will not do it, and your comfort zone will be like so small. So it's extremely important just to jump in and just do it.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. By procrastinating, we're only giving strength to the fear to an extent where it becomes unmanageable, and on one given day we kind of give up. So yeah, that's really very important. This one important thing I understand is people miss to reflect upon where they are against their goal. Somebody may have a goal of having their best company, they want to land a job, or probably they have a bigger goal, but somehow they miss the track in between because they just don't see where they are and where they're supposed to go. So what is the importance of having a feedback, either from a coach or from a friend or anybody for that matter?
That's very important, to close that gap, so that you will not miss your target. So it is extremely important to have your eyes fixed on that target. So by being coached and by being reminded of who you are and what you're capable of, that's extremely important. And especially in these times, like people are sitting alone, and normally you would have that feedback from the society all the time. And now when you're at home and no one is seeing you, and you kind of lose sight of who amazing you really are. And what you're actually capable of. So more than ever, it's important to get someone to talk to you and be there with you, so that you will not lose eyesight of that goal. So I've actually had also like candidates talking to me and saying that they have gotten other jobs, but they didn't want to accept it because they didn't want to disappoint me, as we have been working so closely together. I'm like, wow, is that true? But now these persons are now working now for us. So that's good.
Oh, that's brilliant. That's really brilliant. And let me ask, right, on the other side, you have 3 kids and you're managing all this. I mean, it's one of the most difficult thing is being a mom for 3 kids, and also you have teenagers at home. How do you actually make this work-life balance, Anne?
Oh, yes. Sometimes I'm like, oh my God, it's too much. I have 3 children, 3 girls, and I have them alone. So I'm a single mom. I have them, and they are 12 and 15 now, and 17. So they're starting to getting older and older. But I think from before, I always was the one taking care of everything everything. But now I've given them more and more responsibility and trust. And I say, I trust you for doing that, and trust you for doing that. So it's to give them the responsibility and ownership. So as I teach them also, when you're going to be employed by people, you are getting paid because you have a value and you add some value to that workplace. So I tell them that it's important that they take ownership of the task they are giving at home, so that people will employ them later on. So.
Oh yeah, this is very interesting. So yeah, what you are saying is you delegate some of the work so that they take the ownership of some of the family's responsibilities. Yeah, this is definitely very, very important. And let me ask, right, the core of the show itself is about, strongest women of the world. And how do you actually kind of having three, they're all growing, from girls to women, what kind of characteristics this young generation should learn to become really a strong woman, in years coming?
I think that's a difficult question, and I try to do the same thing for all of my three children, but they're so different. All of them are so different. So for one of them, I need to be very strict. Another one is very preoccupied that she needs rules. She's like, when she needs to have the rules. And then the other one, the oldest one, needs to have totally freedom because she is to be trusted. So they're so different. So I cannot treat them in the same way, actually. So it's a challenge, and you do mistakes, and you are corrected by them, and vice versa. It's tricky, but it's very nice when you manage.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, because see, I mean, as you said, every single person is a unique blend of several characteristics, right? But when it comes to women, right, it's a very common thing that they become plan of somebody else most of the times. Like they may have their own dreams, but they end up saying that I need to really support my, I don't know, husband, many times they say my boyfriend or my father. So they try to become part of someone else's plan. And what kind of, suggestion you have in a way that, they should be able to follow their dreams, but at the same time, like what you're doing in a way, right? So they should be able to give that kind of space for their own dreams. What is your suggestion on that?
I think from the beginning, I was very worried that they were going to copy each other and not be individuals. So, and be jealous of each other. So I'm so happy that I have been able to love each and every one of them in their unique way, in their unique manner. One of them doesn't like hugs. Another one loves the hugs, and the third one, she loves words. She loves, you love me because you tell me, and you love me because you hug me, and you love me because you spend time with me. So I needed to so they don't copy each other. They are like individuals in that way. They know they are strong, and they know that they are valued, and they don't see the need to copy each other. So I think that's to understand that they are unique. They are, and that's also, it's valuable to be unique and not be a copy of everyone else.
Wow. I mean, I'm really, it is so adorable to see that, every single person is unique, but treating them unique and giving them the space is really very important, as you mentioned right now. And coming from that topic to your industry, right? So you've been working with oil and gas industry for a very long time, as you mentioned. Now that, the whole thing is happening, globally, the prices and the industry itself is kind of, a little bit in trouble. But I've seen you have a success rate of more than 80%. So is that the industry is really doing well in Norway, or is it something that uniquely you do something to place these people back into the work?
Those 80% was from another work I had. So that was for different industries, not only oil and gas. But there's mostly oil and gas in Stavanger. Yes, it has been, we have had more work to do now. It's actually quite busy in oil and gas in Stavanger at the moment. So our customers are very busy.
This is a very good thing.
We have much to do.
Anyone who is really looking for the thing. Norway is really busy with oil and gas. That's good. So
yes, but still the borders are closed, so that's a difficulty. So, but we see that there are fewer people unemployed now in Norway due to this.
Very good. I mean, I'm very happy to hear that. So let me ask, right? So whatever may be the industry, at the end of the day, if somebody loses a job, and what is the first, I mean, do you have any process that you really set up for them so that, like you said, right? It is not that you lost your value, you just lost the job. So what kind of steps they should go through when they lose the job?
They need to remember that when someone is rejecting their CV, they're rejecting a piece of paper. They're not rejecting the person. And if you say, I'm qualified for this job, and the CV doesn't reflect it, you are rejected. So you need, for every time you apply for a job, you need to make your CV reflect that you know how to do this specific job. If you have this field, you need to have that on your CV. If it isn't on your CV, you will not be relevant, and you are not being rejected, but your paper will be rejected. So it's like returning a school task. You have to do the paperwork first, and then we can meet, and then we might have the right opportunity for you. So we have been able, actually, in this market now to employ people from outside Norway. They had I could see on the CV that they were qualified. They had the right skills.
So this is very important to make sure that everything that you know is put up onto the paper, so that the employer knows exactly what is the skill that you have it, so that the right fit will be evaluated properly. This is brilliant.
And what I see, many people are using the same CV for every job they apply for, and that's not. Then you haven't replied on the task in a proper way. So.
Oh, this is another most common thing I see. Yeah, everybody kind of just keeps shooting the same CV everywhere.
Yeah.
So
Send to all. Send to all doesn't work.
So yeah, so give attention to it. So what I can say, Anne, this is really I would say very, very useful information, especially for people who are looking for, especially in the current pandemic, how they lose the job and all, and how they can get back. I only want to say a big thanks to you, Anne, for giving your time and sharing all your real life experiences, including your motherhood. So any last advice before we conclude this very interesting conversation, Anne?
I think an important point is also to know that our biggest problem is that we think we shouldn't have problems. So I think it's very important that everyone sees problem as gifts. Every problem is a gift. You will always have like walls. Now, and it's another problem. And then if you can think, then it's a new wall, it's a new problem, it's more growth for me. So if you can look at it that way, everything will change. So then you will change your expectations to appreciations and just dig into everything. So.
Yeah, this is the wonderful message. Really, problems are the growth opportunities, and your perspective has to be changed every single time there is a problem. That is a growth opportunity, like Anne says. And thanks, Anne. Thank you so much. And all the audience, if you have not yet clicked and subscribed, make sure to click that subscriber button and also share with every single person out there where this message can make an impact in their lives. But otherwise, I'll see you with another amazing guest next week. But for this week, me and Anne says thank you so much for tuning in, and we say thank you and bye-bye.
Thank you.